Good morning, friends. Let me say the quiet part out loud. Some of us have spent so much time healing, we forgot to live. So tonight, New Year's Eve, I'm not here to motivate you into a productivity frenzy. I'm here to call you back into your life, back into joy, back into friendship, back into your home, feeling like a place you live in, not just recover in, back to your relationship with God feeling real, not performative, back into your business feeling like impact, not pressure. Because healing is holy, but so is living. Welcome to the Sacred Momentum. Let's do this. If you haven't listened to my last episode yet, the one called You Don't Need to Finish the Year Strong, You Need to Finish It Honest, go listen after this. That episode was about telling the truth. And this episode is about what happens next. Because honesty is step 1, but embodiment is step 2. And embodiment doesn't just sound good in a journal. It looks like a woman who is actually in her life. And for a lot of us, the last few years have been survival, recalibration, healing, rebuilding, reparenting ourselves, regulating, processing, releasing. We learned so much. But somewhere along the way, we started using healing as a reason to pause life. Like, I can't go out until I'm fully healed. I can't be seen until I'm fully confident. I can't launch until I'm fully regulated. I can't be fun until I'm fully okay. And it sounds responsible, but it's actually a sneaky little prison. Here's how the healing loop works. At first, healing is liberation. You finally understand your patterns. You recognize your trauma responses. You learn boundaries. You stop abandoning yourself and your ideas. But then, if you're not careful, healing becomes your whole personality. I am guilty of this. Your nervous system gets addicted to fixing. Your mind gets addicted to analysis. Your identity gets wrapped around being in process. And suddenly, life looks like this. You've read the books. You've done the inner child work. You know your triggers. You understand your attachment style. You can name your coping strategies. But you don't laugh as much. You don't play as much. You don't go create as much. You don't invite people into your world. You don't take the trip. You don't host the dinner. You don't wear the outfit. And you don't hit publish. Do you see where I'm going with this? You're safe, but you're not alive. And I'm not judging you. I've been there. In fact, I was there quite recently, probably last year. This is what high functioning healing looks like. You're emotionally intelligent and emotionally exhausted. Intuitively, this is the message I've been wanting to share for some time. And everything in life has been lining up to this message of embodiment. And it's exactly why next week we'll be starting Embodiment, a feminine leadership program. But for now, I have to tell you that intuitively, when I got this hit that this is what I needed to talk about and this is the focus, I did not know what was going on with the planets. And I find it very not only encouraging, but what is the word? Serendipitous, that the astrology for today and for the next month actually lines up perfectly with this idea. Okay, let's go over now. So right now the sun is in Capricorn, and today, yes, New Year's Eve, it's conjunct Venus and Mars. So the vibe is commitment plus values plus action. Okay, not someday, not when I feel ready. Capricorn says choose, build, move. Those are 3 very action-oriented words, right? And the moon is in Gemini, and it's trine Pluto. So that is the say it out loud and let it change you energy. Gemini is the truth teller. That's me. Pluto is the transformer. So if you've been lying to yourself, I'm fine. I don't need community. I don't need those people. I'm not lonely. I'm not burned out. I don't miss Fun. Tonight is the night to tell the truth and let that truth turn the page. And then we have Mercury in Sagittarius, squaring Saturn and Neptune. That can feel like your mind is loud, your faith is quiet, your clarity is wobbly. But it's also a gift. This asks you to stop outsourcing your next step to your mood, to put structure around your hope, to build practices that hold your faith, not just feelings. I just love how these placements reiterate what the focus really is right now and why this New Year's might feel a little bit different for all of us. So here's the battle cry part, okay? I want you to feel this in your chest. You did not heal just to become a well-managed, well-labeled version of yourself. I want you to think about that for a second. You healed so you could live. You healed so your daughter sees joy, not just responsibility. You healed so your marriage has warmth, not just functionality. You healed so your home feels like a refuge, not a recovery room. You healed so your friendships don't fade out because you were working on yourself. You healed so your business isn't just income, it's impact and an expression of yourself. You healed so you could wake up and feel like I'm here, I'm in it, I'm present, I'm not waiting for life to start. And if you're hearing this and thinking, okay, but I still feel tired, I still have this going on, I know that I'm not over this situation. Yeah, I know. We're not doing toxic positivity. We're doing sacred momentum, which is the name of the podcast. I think that's why I changed it to that. Momentum does not require mania. It requires willingness, right? It doesn't require perfection. It requires movement. So let's look at 5 different areas that you can bring life back in. Okay. First, obviously, your home. This is maybe the most important for a woman. It's where our feminine energy loves to reside and flourish. And when something is disruptive or, you know, unclean, untidy, whatever happens in your home, we sense it. We really do. It's almost impossible to rest. Your home environment is either feeding life or feeding numbness. So, one small practice for tonight: pick one space, just one corner, even, okay? Clear it, make it beautiful. Light a candle, put on worship or music that opens your chest, and say, God, let this home hold joy again. This isn't about aesthetics, it's about aliveness. Ask yourself, what would make my home feel like a place I live, not just manage? Okay. Next, let's talk about your family. Bring life back through micro moments, not a grand gesture, a micro moment. So what's that? This could be a no phone dinner, right? A walk after dinner, something to do together, a kitchen dance party. I know we used to do those all the time, but now that my daughter's almost 14, those are kind of few and far between. What about a game night that isn't like perfect? It doesn't have to be perfect, right? Our nervous system regulation doesn't only come from stillness. Sometimes it comes from laughter and movement, and we tend to forget that, okay? I want to say one more thing here that I didn't write down, and that is allow these moments and memories that you're making to unfold more organically, right? If somebody has some input on what game they want to play, if somebody has input on the snacks, right? Let other people choose and then allow yourself to react to that. So let's make this a collective experience instead of something that you're micromanaging, because sometimes it may seem like you're not, but when you lay out all of the things we're meant to do and nobody's allowed to put in their input or they just don't feel open to, then we are creating an experience for us and not for the other people that are here with us. So just allow for that to be more collective, if that makes sense. Next, we're going to talk about reigniting friendships and community. So this is a bigger deal than sometimes we realize. Because sometimes healing actually makes us kind of isolate from others. And I get that because it's hard for other people sometimes to understand what we are healing from and what we're going through. And it's very exhausting to also be talking about it all the time. So most of us do it as more of an inner work that people will see after the fact. But I want you to understand that isolation is not the trophy at the end of growth, because we do tend to put this on this pedestal. It's like, well, I don't have anyone to hang out with anymore now that I've healed, right? It sounds silly, but that is kind of how we look at it. So tonight, I want you to send one message to someone you feel called to reignite that relationship. Just like, I miss you, want to grab a coffee in January, or do you want to go to the movies with me or something? That's it. It's not a TED Talk. Okay. It's just a thread of connection that needs to be established. You don't need a big circle. You need real, authentic people in your world. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your relationship with God. This is one of my favorite topics, and it does tend to come into my podcast and my learning environment in general. But this is also not a religious performance, right? This is a relationship. Okay. If you've been spiritually tired, here's your reset. Make your faith simple. Again, strip it down to the basics, right? A 1-sentence prayer. God, I'm here. Lead me. Or a 1-minute practice, hand on heart, breaths in through the abdomen, out through the mouth, right? I receive peace. I receive guidance. Okay. You're not behind. You're being invited back. And that is the purpose. We always get to come back. Okay. Now, if you're someone who feels like you need to reignite your business, that thought process might feel overwhelming because maybe there's a few things that you have, quote, failed to do lately around your business, around the holidays, right? It's a tug of war between taking a rest from the business in order to spend time with our families and just being able to still maintain it. So for this, let's set the mindset already, okay? January 1st is not about the hardest grind in your business life, okay? But you do need to choose life in your work again. So I would ask myself, what would I create if I wasn't trying to prove I'm worthy? What would I post if I wasn't scared of being perceived wrong? What offer would feel like service, but not pressure? Because how much of your business is actually feeding back into your life? That's a huge recalibration that many of us need to do in our business, even monthly. How much of what I did this month, this year, whatever, actually breathed life into my business and made me feel like I'm offering something that people really need and desire? Okay, this is Capricorn season. So it's about building what lasts. So I want you to now erase all of those limiting beliefs around, well, I tried this before and it didn't work, or I did that and I worked on it for a year and it never came to fruition what I thought it would. I want you to let go of that. You are now building what lasts. And that's your focus, okay? So pick one brick, pick one action, pick one next step, and let's build on that. So my friend, wherever you land in this, whatever action steps you want to take in all of these 5 categories, do it. You can do one from each, okay? But what I want you to know is let this be your New Year's for a vow. Let this be a changing moment for you. Here's a New Year's Eve vow that I kind of typed up real quick. I will not use healing as a hiding place. I will not wait until I'm perfect to be present. I will not postpone joy because I'm still working on myself. I'm going to tell the truth, and then I'm going to live it. And again, if you haven't listened to the previous episode, you don't need to finish the year strong. You need to finish it honest. It sets the foundation for everything we talked about today. Okay. And if you're listening to this and you feel that ache like, yes, I'm ready, but I don't want to do it alone. That's exactly why embodied exists. Embodied is for the woman who's done the awareness work. She knows her pattern, she knows what she's outgrown, but she's ready to actually live differently. It's a nervous system support, subconscious rewiring, spiritual depth, and feminine leadership in a real life container. Home, family, friendships, God, business, all of it. If you want to step into the new year, not just with intentions, but with embodiment, go check this link in the show notes. And either way, my friend, I'm proud of you for being here today, listening to the truth and choosing life again. Happy New Year, my friend, and we will see you in 2026.